Welcome to the Sky Podcast.
We heard stories daw, Ann, na your mga rangers get attacked sometimes. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Kung sino yung nag-a-attack and bakit siya ina-attack?
I guess the backstory is, if you look at our presence on the ground, it reveals a lot of things that were previously not visible to a lot of people, right? So because it's certain offices only that get to see these places and they are remote places, basically whatever those offices report, that's what people believe to be true. So say in the Upper Marikina, when Typhoon Ulysses happened, it was reported that the watershed is fully intact. When it wasn't, it was only 10 to 20% forested. That's how huge the discrepancy in reporting was. Diba? So, because of our presence on the ground, we kind of have been serving as a check and balance mechanism for all of these things. Diba? Yeah, so nakikita namin what's happening. We get to show the anomalies that are going on the ground. And I guess that is what's angering, some groups and some people, particularly on the governance side of things. When our rangers got shot, this involved...
Shot? Like binaril?
Binaril sila. Yeah, in July.
Oh, no.
They almost died.
Oh my God.
They were literally hit on the head. Like, right here and here. I think love lang talaga kami ni God. That's why.
my
I mean,
gosh.
had that bullet moved half an inch, the outcome would be significantly different, diba? So that's how aggressive land grabbing is. Basically,
Right.
groups who want to occupy protected area land and have these developed, even when they do not have any permit or any tenure. And they wish and believe that they could get away with it because, well, no one's checking on them anyway, supposedly, no? So,
Oh, kasi that's
so
within the 2,000
So these are the guys.
hectares. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that
Wait,
sounds terrible.
like-
Parang akala ko hinaharas lang sila pero binaril pala. That's serious. So
Wait,
serious.
Ano,
The
sino
harassment
sila?
is
Are they like
continuous.
illegal loggers? Or
Those that wanna land grab nga daw. And use the part of the
Yeah.
land that's conserved to develop it. So these must be powerful people, Anne, no?
Quiet.
Yeah.
So, there is, the funny thing, if you look at it all, is sino yung mga tao who are trying to occupy land on the ground. Number one, someone who does real estate for his profession, and he's trying to occupy 40 hectares of the land and develop it into a resort.
Oh, God.
Number two, someone who said that they are building a sanctuary for priests. Later on, we found out that they are fake priests. They're not associated with any churches. Such interesting personalities. The third one, an
wow.
active police general who also do not have any documents to show, right? And so these are people who are, I guess, teaming up or ganging up on us at this time. Yeah. When
But
it
you're
comes
supposed to
doing
have
illegal
the-
things in the watershed.
You're supposed to have the backing of the DENR because technically that land is yours to protect, di ba? So, dapat hindi kayo yung nag-aaway sa kanila.
Yeah, it is definitely DNR's responsibility to be, enforcing all of these laws. I'm not sure if you've seen recently, pero our rangers were also, just in February, sabihin nyo lang sa akin pag too heavy na, just in February, they were mauled. So,
Oh my God.
their heads were, as in, my project associate, he's young in the organization, his head was literally parang smashed onto the car. My car was hit with rocks. My windshield was broken. And then some of them were violent enough to pick up huge chunks of rocks. And they wouldn't throw them lang at our rangers, ha? They would get the rocks and then use it to hit our rangers, then smash our rangers' heads with.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
So
That
may-
sounds like
yeah,
drug
pretty
lord
violent
kind of wars. That's insane.
Wait, so hindi
So-
nyo ni-report sa police or what
There's a
happened?
case, right? Ongoing.
Yeah, we've been filing cases, but I mean, what we need is pretty simple, right? If there's lawlessness literally happening because the violence keeps on happening, it keeps on repeating. Um, the need is really just for the police to maybe to have a station there, so that peace and order, um, prevails in the area instead of all of these kinds of activities. So that is what we've been requesting for, to have a police, kahit a police station, not a police station, police detachment, even just 2 to 4 of them in the area while tensions de-escalate. So, wala pang ganong arrangement at the time. Their commitment, I mean, they did something. They put up a reaction force in case something happens, right? But then what we need really are preventive solutions, diba? That will stop aggression from happening, instead of simply just responding as they come.
Right.
I'm trying to wrap my head around, like, for example, if someone wants to develop real estate in 40 hectares of land, and they're potentially going to be selling like houses, condominiums, or whatever, anong gagawin nila dun, di ba? But how can they do that if wala talaga silang papers?
I don't know, to be honest. Hindi ko rin alam. That's why it's like, what's on your mind, people? So, I mean, there are still people who do that, right? You shouldn't be selling land that isn't titled. You shouldn't be developing it and selling it. But there are still some people who do that. Some people turn them into resorts. Some people squat on the land, wait for the land values to increase to sell the land later on. And then there are also people who hope through the connections that they have in government that land will be granted for them for titling anyway. So meron
Right.
talaga mga
Grabe,
ganun.
no?
So when we're talking about land speculation, like what you're saying, guys, you're right eh. It's not just, the question really is, right, when you start asking how does it happen, then you realize how many players and actors must be involved for it to continue to happen, right? And how many other people must be, well, basically government agencies also must be turning a blind eye for these to continue to happen. So,
Wow, parang
ayun.
malaking conspiracy.
Marami organized crime talaga siya of sorts. But we are hopeful, right? Because at least ngayon nakikita na natin tong mga to. Before they could just get away with doing things as they wish. Ngayon we're able to surface all of these activities. There are Senate hearings, there are congressional hearings in aid of legislation that are beginning to happen. So, and hopefully, DNR also takes this basically as a learning activity, diba? Because we're not fighting DNR. We're here to supplement and complement what they do. So whatever we learn from here really should be used to improve how conservation enforcement and the management of our protected areas happen, not just for this area, but for many others
And-
in other parts of the country. Because imagine this is happening at the back seat
Yes.
of Manila,
Oo.
diba? It's so much worse if you think about it.
Other
in
islands
more far-flung
or
locations.
provinces,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And people who, like, say, do not have a voice or do not have access to, people like you guys who could talk about what we're going through. Diba? And there's so many more who are having a difficult time conserving and protecting, the spaces that they care about. Search for it. The Philippines has always been the most deadly place in Asia for land defense.
Wow.
For decades
And you're
now.
so young,
And
Anna. Like your team, sabi mo nga, puro millennial, to be dealing with all of this at such a young age. Parang I can't imagine the burden you
Oo.
must be feeling, no? Parang, if you guys want to hear the full episode, you can.
Check us out on Spotify.
Spotify.
It's free, guys. It's free.
See you there.
Podcast.
Sky Podcast.